What does it take to earn $100,000 a year as a freelancer? It's the number we see everywhere. The benchmark for success, the golden ticket to financial freedom, the ultimate goal whispered in co-working spaces and splashed across social media. We see the glamorous result, the laptop on a beach, the 4-day work week, and the declaration of being your boss. But behind the filter, there's a stark, unglamorous reality that nobody talks about. It's a reality governed not by passion or luck, but by cold, hard math. The truth is that six-figure dream isn't a lottery ticket. It's a complex equation. And today, we're going to solve it. We're going to pull back the curtain and deconstruct the entire financial model of a six-figure freelancer piece by piece. We'll use a first principles approach to build a blueprint, a financial calculator that transforms that intimidating six-figure mountain into a series of small, manageable steps. This isn't about get-rich-quick schemes or toxic hustle culture. This is about financial literacy, strategic thinking, and taking control. If you're ready to stop dreaming about a six-figure income and start building a concrete plan to achieve it, you're in the right place. Let's get into the numbers. 1. The Freelancer Calculator, deconstructing the $100,000 goal. The journey to a six-figure income begins with a single powerful act, deconstruction. That big, intimidating number, $100,000, feels impossible when you look at it as a whole. But in business, you don't conquer mountains in one leap. You climb them one step at a time. Whoa. So let's load that number into our Freelancer Calculator and break it down into something actionable. $100,000 a year is $8,333 a month. That's roughly $1,923 a week. And if you work a standard 5-day week, that's a target of about $385 per day. Suddenly, the question changes. It's no longer, how on earth do I make $100,000? It's, how can I generate $385 of value today? This shift in perspective is the first step toward taking control. But here's the most critical distinction, the one that trips up almost every new freelancer. That $100,000 is not your salary, it's your gross revenue. An employee receives a paycheck after taxes and benefits have been deducted. A freelancer receives a payment, and from that payment, they must fund their entire business and personal life. Your gross revenue is the top line, the starting point from which everything else gets subtracted. Think of yourself as the CEO of You Incorporated. Your business has 4 primary financial levers that you and only you can control. The first is your billing rate, the price you command for your skills. The second is your billable time, the actual number of hours you can charge to clients, which is very different from the number of hours you work. The third is your operating costs, the money you must spend on tools, software, and services just to keep your business running. And the final, non-negotiable lever is taxes, the significant portion of your income that you owe to the government. Mastering these 4 levers is the core of the six-figure equation. It's not about working harder. It's about understanding how these variables interact. It's about moving from the mindset of an employee who is paid for their time to the mindset of a business owner who is paid for the value they create and the efficiency with which they operate. For the rest of this video, we're going to dissect each of these levers, showing you how a small adjustment in one area can have a massive impact on your ability to not only reach that six-figure goal, but to do so sustainably without burning out. This is where the real work begins. 2. The hidden math beyond the hourly rate. Now, let's dive into the hidden math, the variables that operate beneath the surface of your freelance business. This is where the gap between what you think you earn and what you take home is created. The 2 most powerful and most misunderstood variables are your billing rate and your time. They have an inverse relationship. The higher your rate, the less time you need to sell to hit your goal. Let's run some numbers through our calculator. Imagine a freelance writer who charges $50 an hour. To hit a $100,000 gross revenue target, they need to find, win, and complete 2,000 billable hours of work per year. Now consider a graphic designer who has positioned themselves as a specialist and charges $100 an hour. They need to bill only 1,000 hours to hit the same revenue target. That's half the hours, half the projects, half the client management, and half the administrative friction. A higher rate doesn't just mean more money, it means more time, more focus, and more strategic freedom. But the math gets even more complicated because of the single biggest delusion in freelancing, the 40-hour work week. An employee might work 40 hours and get paid for 40 hours. A freelancer works 40 hours, but they can't bill for all of it. This is because of a concept called non-billable time. These are the hidden hours you spend running your business, the essential unpaid labor that makes the paid labor possible. This includes everything from marketing yourself on social media and writing proposals for new clients, to sending invoices, bookkeeping, organizing files, taking courses to upgrade your skills, and attending networking events. This isn't wasted time. It's the work of being a CEO. Industry data shows that most freelancers can only realistically bill for about 60 to 75% of their total working hours. A common sustainable target is billing for 30 hours in a 40-hour week. That means a full 10 hours, 25% of your work week, is dedicated to unpaid but essential tasks. If you calculate your rates assuming you can bill 40 hours a week, you've already underpriced yourself by at least 25%. And then come the hidden costs. Once you've earned your revenue, the subtractions begin. First up are your business expenses. This is everything you have to pay for just to operate. Your laptop, high-speed internet, subscriptions to software like Adobe Creative Cloud or project management tools, website hosting, marketing costs, and maybe even a portion of your rent for a home office. But the biggest financial shock for new freelancers is the self-employment tax. When you're an employee, your employer pays half of your Social Security and Medicare taxes. When you're self-employed, you pay both halves. This amounts to a tax rate of 15.3% on your net earnings, and that's before you even pay a single dollar in federal or state income tax. So let's visualize this with a pie chart. Imagine your $100,000 of gross revenue is a whole pie. First, you slice off a piece for business expenses, let's say 15%. Now you're at $85,000. Then you slice off the self-employment tax, which is over $12,000. Now you're down to about $73,000. From that, you still have to pay your regular income taxes. After all is said and done, your $100,000 six-figure business might only leave you with a $60,000 take-home pay. This is the surprise effect, the stark realization that your gross income is a vanity metric. Your net profit is what matters. Understanding this dilution is not meant to discourage you. It's meant to empower you. Because only by seeing the full equation can you start to solve it strategically. 3. Building your business, a roadmap to six figures. So we've deconstructed the math and exposed the hidden costs. Now let's rebuild. How do you strategically manipulate these variables to build a viable path to a real six-figure income? This is where you shift from being a freelancer to being a solopreneur. It's not about working more. It's about making every hour you work more valuable. Let's look at two different paths to $100,000. Path A is the volume game. This is the freelancer charging $50 an hour. To hit the goal, they need to bill 2,000 hours a year, which is over 40 hours a week, every single week, assuming 4 weeks of vacation. This path requires a constant hunt for new clients and a massive amount of work, making it a fast track to burnout. Path B is the value game. This is the freelancer charging $100 an hour. They only need to bill 1,000 hours a year or about 21 hours a week. This path leaves them with nearly 20 extra hours every week for deep work, strategic business development, or simply living their life. The goal is to get on Path B, and you do that by pulling 3 strategic levers. The first and most powerful is the value lever. Strategically increasing your rate. You don't just ask for more money, you command it. You do this by specializing. Stop being a freelance writer and become a content strategist for fintech startups. Generalists are interchangeable commodities. Specialists are sought-after experts who can charge premium rates. Build social proof by plastering your website with glowing testimonials and detailed case studies. And reframe your title. You're not a freelancer, you're a consultant, a specialist, a strategist. The second is the efficiency lever, maximizing your billable time. This isn't about working more, it's about wasting less. Batch your administrative tasks. Dedicate Monday mornings to all your emails and invoicing so they don't bleed into your deep work time. Automate everything you can. And most importantly, learn to fire your worst clients. You know, the 20% of clients who cause 80% of your stress for the lowest pay. Firing a bad client isn't losing money. It's a strategic business decision to free up your most valuable asset, your time, for better opportunities. The third lever is the profitability lever, managing your costs. Regularly audit your subscriptions. Do you need that premium software, or will a cheaper alternative do the job? Every dollar you save in unnecessary costs is a dollar that goes directly into your pocket. Ultimately, all these strategies are born from one crucial mindset shift. You must stop thinking about your paycheck and start thinking about your profit. A worker wants a bigger paycheck. A business owner wants a healthier bottom line. This mindset changes everything. It transforms pricing from a simple number into your most powerful marketing tool. It turns your time from something you sell into an asset you invest. This is the final piece of the puzzle. A six-figure income isn't a reflection of how hard you work. It's a reflection of how smart you run your business. Conclusion. The goal of earning a six-figure income as a freelancer is not a fantasy. It is a tangible, achievable result of a well-executed business strategy. But it is a strategy built on the unglamorous foundation of mathematics, not magic. The journey from a $100,000 gross revenue to your actual take-home pay is a path of significant dilution, carved out by non-billable hours, hidden business costs, and self-employment taxes. The key to navigating this path successfully is to stop acting like a worker for hire and start operating as the CEO of your own business. It requires a fundamental shift from thinking about your rate to thinking about your profitability. Success isn't found in working more hours, but in making every hour more valuable, more efficient, and more strategic. By understanding the numbers, you demystify the process, you gain control, and you transform financial anxiety into financial empowerment. The blueprint is in your hands. So what's the one number or concept from this video that gave you an aha moment? Was it the impact of non-billable hours or the reality of the self-employment tax? Share your biggest takeaway in the comments below. And if you're ready to keep building your blueprint for a smarter, more successful life, make sure you subscribe to Gen Shift.